brownies. The kids cardiac, catch me in the Muni where the party at. Dog pound, turn up with the elf up on my starter cap. Brought him back, boy we from the land and we proud of that. Louder man, front to the back, here we go, I got him shouting that. Here we go brownies, here we go. Here we go brownies, here we go brownies. Stand up. Here we go brownies. Game on the line, Joe Thomas, I promise. Jim Brown running through opponents, how I got this. I return like Josh Cripps, hand for the mini, got the dog pound jumping. Here we go brownies, here we go. Here we go brownies, here we go brownies. Stand up. Here we go brownies. Let's go
Cleveland, this is for you. This is for you.
Mr. Hero's turning 60. We're proud to have served your favorite cravings for 60 years in celebrating what we do best. Thanks, Ohio.
I crave a hero.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Here We Go Brownies podcast. I'm Allie Ellery, coming to you live from Pensacola, Florida. Join with me, as always, we've got Dustin out in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio, cold Cleveland, Ohio. Guys, if you haven't already, please be sure to download the Mr. Hero app. You can get buy one, get one offers just for signing up. You can order food within the app. You can build rewards. Easy way to feed the family. Makes it convenient and easy, too. Just do it right there on your phone. Dustin, how are you?
Well, it's 40 degrees today, so I am happy. No. It's been 20. Trust me.
Okay. Then good. That's better.
Yeah. No. It's going to be almost 50 tomorrow. So I'm excited for our Christmas party because obviously we'll have all the wonderful people coming out and it's going to be way warmer. So yeah, it feels like a heat wave here. I'll just tell you that. It's like a heat wave in Cleveland right now. So it's been good. It's been good.
That's great. Here in Florida, certainly nothing to what you've been dealing with, but the other morning, I will tell you this, in Florida, it was 29 degrees. So that is certainly quite cold for Pensacola, Florida, but then today it was like 70. So nonetheless, with the changes in weather, as you can imagine, I'm a little bit under the weather, so please bear with me tonight. Be nice, don't be mean. I'm doing my best. I'm hanging on.
Well, nobody should be mean. I mean,
well, yes, it's the holiday season. Please be nice. All right, let's get into it. We've got some things to talk about tonight. Obviously, we're going to look back at the previous game. That wasn't a good one. That wasn't very fun. So we'll just briefly talk about that. We'll look ahead to Buffalo. We're going to bring David on here in a little bit. Unfortunately, we've got a huge injury report to get through. So that really sucks, especially at this point in the season. And of course, we are going to have a little fun on the show tonight. We're gonna play a game of, what's most likely this offseason. So we're gonna throw some scenarios out of some potential things that could happen this upcoming offseason, and just kind of talk through that and maybe rank what we think is the most likely. So there you go. There you have it. Let's start, Dustin. We want to share some exciting news. We do have a new sponsor. Dustin, why don't you tell our listeners about our newest sponsor?
Yeah, guys, if you haven't tried them, you definitely have got to give these guys a shot. It is the original cheese steak and hoagies. That's right. And by the way, their Thursday, that being tomorrow, is the last time, the final $7 large cheese steak day ever. And we couldn't miss being a part of it. Find a location near you. There's 12 in the local Cleveland, Northeast Ohio, Akron area. Cheesesteak sandwiches shops that rapidly are growing with franchise-owned being one of your own. We're looking for franchisees owners as well. Of course, get that. They want to sell them all out. The $7 large cheesesteak. Check them out. $7 meal that satisfies your hunger without emptying your wallet. And you can go to steakandhoagies.com/order. And we have a nice little message from our friends over there as well.
I love a catchy jingle. I do. Between that, Mr. Hero, we've got a couple of catchy jingles. I like that. There you go. There you have it. That's our newest sponsor. We're excited to be working with them. So let's start, Dustin, with the game this past week against the Bears. I wasn't able to do a Sunday show, so thankfully. I didn't really have a lot of nice things to say about that game.
He did a great job of pinch hitting. He did a great job.
That's great. Appreciate stepping in and helping me out while I was out. But let's talk about it. It felt, Dustin, like that game was over pretty much as soon as it started. Special teams continues to be the issue. Obviously, there's several issues with this team. We'll talk about that, but one of the biggest being special teams. When, a couple minutes into this game, the Browns had already given up nearly over 100 yards of field position just because of special teams in the coverage. So that continues to be an issue. Offense was abysmal. Unfortunately for the run game, obviously the scheme is just not working, but the offensive line is utterly depleted. So you really feel for Quinshon and his inability to really get anything going. You feel for Shedeur Sanders with no time to do anything. He threw 3 picks on the day. One of them really not his fault, in my opinion. But I think that the offensive line has been an issue from the start of the season, actually back into last season. The offensive line has been just a continued problem. But I also think, injuries aside, Dustin, the offensive line is kind of an extension of just really bad offense, and it's kind of reflective of a bad scheme. Obviously, you can't overcome, injuries happen and your line is depleted. There's not really much that you can do at this point in the season, but I think this also exposes just really bad scheme and the ability to go out and do anything.
Right. Yeah, to your point with Quinshon, he can't get anything going at all.
No, nothing. Nobody would. No running back in the league would be able to behind this offensive line.
And the truth, I'm a big fan of Ashton Genty, and he's having the same problem in Oakland. He's not getting the gaps to play. And if you notice, people like Trayvon Henderson in New England that have a decent line are starting to climb an inch up and may probably surpass, Quinshon, because they actually have an offensive line that can run and throw the ball. So it's unfortunate. Obviously, when you're watching this Browns team, there are some bright spots. Obviously, with Fannin, obviously a bright spot on this team, and some of these other guys on offense. But you're just not really getting to see their full potential just because, to your point, Shedeur's going to be running around. We'll get into that. Obviously, Shedeur had some bright spots in this game. He definitely has a vertical game. I am looking forward to seeing more of what he can do, but it's really hard when you got, there was one where he just got demolished on a sack. He had 1 second to react and the guy had him flat on his face. So it's tough, man. It's tough to even gauge where this team could go at quarterback, because I just don't think you really have a real adequate way to judge these guys, no matter who's behind center.
No, it's bad. The offensive line is just, like I said, it's utterly depleted. It's really difficult to get anything going. You feel for guys like Shedeur and Quinshon. Let's just go through it. Shedeur Sanders was the leading rusher on the day. He only had 2 carries for 24 yards, but he was the leading rusher. Which
is crazy. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And by the way, he was sacked 5 times. So he was kind of just running for his life, essentially. Quinshon Judkins, 12 carries for 21 yards, averaging 1.8 a pop. That sucks. That really sucks. And I don't think it's a reflection of Quinshon. I think that obviously he's a rookie and he's still learning. You're still going to have rookie mistakes even with a running back. Yeah. It is an inability to do anything offensively with this offensive line right now. It's just abysmal. As a team, they averaged 3.1 a pop for the rushing attack. Shedeur Sanders, 18 of 35 for 177. No touchdowns, 3 picks. He was sacked 5 times. Really kind of a rookie day, if you will. I think, like I said, one of those, the pass to Jerry Jeudy, I don't really think that was necessarily his fault. I think that was a good ball. Jerry should have come away with that. It should have been a touchdown. Sure. It wasn't a pick. But otherwise, you're still seeing things from Shedeur that need to be cleaned up, and rightfully so. He's only started a handful of games so far. He holds on to the ball a little too long. He's got to figure out a way to get rid of the ball. Really difficult to do with the offensive line that's in front of you. I get it.
You have a quarterback that already hangs onto the ball too long, and then you throw a hot garbage offensive line on top of that. That's the recipe for disaster. Yeah,
it is. let's go through the rest of this. The receiving, Isaiah Bond was the leading receiver. Obviously, he had that big catch for 47 yards, but 2 catches for 89. Harold Fannin Jr. 7 catches for 48. He continues to shine. Jerry Jeudy had 2 for 22, and that's it. I mean, you mentioned a couple of bright spots on this team, Dustin, and those continue to be the rookies. You've got some guys. You've got, obviously you're excited in what you have in Quinshon Judkins. We're all eager to see what we have in Shedeur Sanders. It's obviously clear that Harold Fannin Jr. is a dude. Carson is clearly a dude. Mason Graham continues to perform.
I was just saying, I am pleasant. I almost feel like in the last month, Mason Graham has really come into his own, and you're seeing a lot more out of him in that confidence now because he's a rookie. But now you can really see why the Browns took him with the their first overall pick, because he's really been that anchor and made it, quite frankly, why Myles Garrett's about ready to possibly tie or break the NFL sack record because of what Mason's doing on the interior of the line.
Yeah, I mean, let's revisit that. Actually, let's revisit this past draft class, 2025 NFL draft. Let's go through the top 10 picks, okay? And obviously, knowing what we know now, let's kind of say, what do you think? Did Andrew Berry? It's obviously too early to say.
Like a redraft, redo. Right, exactly.
Too early to say, did he hit or miss? But where we're at this point in the season, let's say, would you rather have this person over Mason Graham? So we're going to go through the top 10. Cam Ward, that's kind of difficult to answer because, from a quarterback, I don't know. What would Cam Ward really be doing behind this offensive line? It's hard to say. Possibly, I think he's one right away that you would say, yeah, he's definitely got the talent. You're seeing what he can do. He's certainly got some bright spots. Maybe if he would have been available, I think they probably would have selected him. But then from there, Travis Hunter, who had a season-ending injury, and prior to that, just really couldn't get things going on offense or defense. Would you rather, at this point in the season, have Travis Hunter or Mason Graham? Personally, I'm leaning Mason Graham.
Yeah, me too. And here's the other thing. It's also a guy that can maybe anchor that spot for maybe a decade, because, that's another thing. When you sign a high-profile wide receiver or corner, you got him for that first contract. But if you don't, like a guy like Mason Graham could be a guy that could be on your roster forever. Like he's the kind of guy that if you build around him and build the talent. So, yeah, he's a developmental guy, more than a developmental guy, but, they put him in to be the guy. So I would rather have him because I feel like he's got the longevity. And to your point, Travis Hunter's out. He's not even playing football right now. And Mason Graham is getting better and better. And I think
obviously it's a deadly combination on that defensive line. And here's another one. Here's another name that was tossed around, before the Browns made that trade of what do you do at 2? Do you take somebody like, Travis Hunter, Shedeur Sanders, or do you take Abdul Carter? He was in that conversation. Do you remember how many podcasts we did about did they take Abdul Carter at 2? Frankly, I am glad that they traded out of that and they did not select Abdul Carter,
right,
who's been pretty disappointing in New York. Obviously, he's able to get after the quarterback. He has a pretty high pressure percentage, but he can't. I think he's having some issues learning how to be a professional. He's been disciplined a couple of times. So at this juncture, I'd rather have Mason Graham. Will Campbell, that's interesting. Obviously, he also had an injury, so he's not currently playing. But right, you look at the structure of this offensive line, I think I would have to probably lean Will Campbell right now, just because of how bad this offensive line is. Now, it's hard to say because I don't know if I would rather have, or if I'm saying, wow, being that this offensive line is so bad, I would just rather have any offensive tackle to kind of solve that issue versus Mason Graham. So at this point, I'm probably going to lean Will Campbell, maybe just because I'm desperate for offensive line help. Could go with it. All right, next up is Ashton Genty. This is an interesting one. I think I'd rather have Mason Graham right now. And this isn't long term, but right now, just because of the offensive line. What more is he? What more could Ashton Genty bring to the table than what Quinshon Judkins is able to do behind this horrific?
Yeah, and you got Ashton and you got Quinshon in the second round, right? So obviously that was more of a value. And if you're evaluating both these running backs, and I obviously wear blue and orange colored glasses, that's obvious. But looking now, hindsight 2020, they're kind of even, right? As far as coming out, I mean, it's kind of a draw. These two guys, and by the way, we got Judkins in the second round. Okay, well, that means we did better off with our running back selection. if you're a Cleveland Browns. So
Armand Membo, the tackle for the Jets. Again, I kind of lump this into the same category with Will Campbell. Like, I don't know if I would necessarily have that player or just help at that skill at that position. So
that's fair.
I'll kind of shift my tone here for all tackles because we've got Kelvin Banks Jr. He's also on this list. I'm going to kind of move the tackles here just because I'm so desperate for help there. Tet McMillan. Would you rather have Mason Graham or Tet McMillan? That's an interesting one.
I think I still want Mason Graham just because of what he can bring currently and to the future of the Browns. Because again, before the season started, we didn't know. We knew the offensive line was, but we didn't know it would turn into this, right? So we thought it was going to be okay, not disastrous.
I think this is the first selection here where I'm like, wow, who would I actually rather have? I might actually lean Tet. I think his upside is pretty high. Obviously, this team desperately needs receiver help in a big way. But we're seeing the value that Mason Graham brings to the table with this defensive line. What it elevate, how it elevates Myles Garrett. I don't know. I'll probably still lean Mason Graham, but I think that Tet's probably the closest second. And then lastly, here we've got Colston Loveland, the tight end for Chicago. Listen, I'd rather have over him, and so give me Mason Graham. So when we look at the top 10 outside of Cam Ward, because the Browns obviously didn't hold the number 1 overall pick, so they wouldn't have been able to pick him anyways. I think Andrew Berry got this one right, and at the time, a lot of people were very critical of him, and so far. Even I was like, are you kidding me? We took a defensive line, I was one of those people going, what the hell are we doing now? I will say this. A lot of people now, if you did a 2025 draft redo, Schlesinger is a first rounder. No doubt about it. Top 10 type of first rounder. This kid is, he's got the most tackles of any Brown since 99, I think, or God knows how far going back. This kid is, and he's got 4 games to go. He's in, what's really crazy, and what I think is really crazy is I had players of this generation tell me this, and then to see it happen and be like, okay, talent knows talent, players know players, but to have some of these Browns alumni go, man, he reminds us a lot of Clay Matthews, and then to see that same kind of play emulate at an early stage of his career and blossom so quickly, you're like, okay, these guys really can see what this kid has. Players can really see other talent. And what he's put on that field as a rookie is astonishing to me. He's going to get, defensive rookie of the year. This kid is, I will tell you this. I wear Browns jerseys. I'm sitting here thinking which ones, he's a jersey that I want to go buy and wear. Dude, that's a guy that I can get behind and just want to run through a wall for a guy like that, because he's all over the field. He plays to the whistle, and he's a blue collar, keep his nose down kind of player. Yeah, he's great. He's certainly been a bright spot for this team. So, look, when you look at the top 10 of this past draft, you're like, wow, okay, maybe it wasn't so bad after all. So I'm glad we kind of ran through that. Real quick, let me tell you about our good friend. Where's she at? Crystal John Toney. Guys, if you are looking to buy or sell real estate over at our good friend Crystal John Toney over at eXp Realty, she can help you out. 216-215-6663. 6663. John Toney sells at gmail.com. Please be sure to check her out. And if you're thinking about any upcoming, holiday gifts or anything like that, why don't you consider our friends over at Primetime Sports? Actually, David and I, we just got a couple of gifts for our family members from them. Highly recommend. They're awesome. So you can get some great memorabilia, Ohio State, Browns, they do it all. So please be sure to check them out over at Primetime Sports and Friends.
Yeah. And guys, just in time for Christmas, Mike Hall Jr. and Bush will both be there doing signings next Christmas Eve, the 23rd on that Tuesday prior to Christmas Eve at Great Northern Mall. Check them out. They'll be there from 7 to 8 in person. Get your meet and greets and see them live, which will be kind of fun right before Christmas. If you're in town, go check the guys out.
Go check them out. All right, let's bring David on. We've got, unfortunately, a lot to talk about from the medical.
It's not going to be the medical moment. It's not going to be the medical moment. It's going to be the medical documentary tonight. So
yes, it really is. All right, let's move on. This is brought to you by our good friends over at Lorello Vineyards.
Here we go, Brownies Nations. We are here with Larry Lorello at Huntington Field to talk about Here We Go Brownies wine and all the other amazing wines at Lorello Vineyards.
Yeah, I just want to tell all of you guys, it's harvest season right now. We just started with some of the whites, and reds will be coming in next. Stop out at the winery, all the wineries out in Northeast Ohio, for to check out all the harvest and what we're doing out there. It's a really good time right now.
Here we go, Brownies. Here we go.
Here we go.
Woof, woof.
Woof, woof.
All right, let's bring him on, the husband of the program, Dr. David Ellery. Hi, David.
Hey, Dustin.
Doctor, how are you?
Oh no, what is happening? I am great. There's a little, sickness running through the house, so
Yeah,
don't mind my scratchiness.
do we have a double infected doctor? Doctor, did you get her sick, or did she get you sick?
I think probably someone out in public got somebody sick, but I'm fingers crossed. I have not done. I have done better than her in terms of how I've been feeling. She's gotten the worst of it. I just have a little scratchiness, but like I feel bad. It's crappy.
I'm hanging on to a thread, guys. I was in bed not that long ago. I'm just doing my tea. We're rocking and rolling. Nothing gets me energized like the Cleveland Browns.
That's right.
All right, David,
Cleveland Browns. The 3-11 Cleveland Browns.
Do it. Let's get into it. Unfortunately, you've got a lot to talk about, so I'll turn it over to you.
Yep. Kind of not dissimilar than last week or from last week. Big list. I think I counted up 18 on the injury report for practice today. So it's just nothing major. As usual, the biggest, hardest hit group is the offensive line, which is just the theme of really the 2020s so far for the Browns, unfortunately. Kind of the biggest, I guess, biggest news is what happened during the game. We know that we were limited with four starters out to begin with, and then in-game action resulted in Tevin Jenkins leaving the game, I think, fairly early on and being ruled out for the rest of it with a shoulder injury. And so we were down to, it was a skeleton crew, if you can even call it that.
Well, they called you. They called you to come in. I mean, they were so.
Seriously though, we gotta keep Allie out of the stadium, otherwise they're gonna put some shoulder pads on her. So.
No, she gets to go work in the front office and make some moves.
I'm laying down the law.
Yeah. So I guess to kind of update on his status, Tevin Jenkins, it's a shoulder injury. He did not practice today. It's not super encouraging for the game Sunday, but we will see what happens tomorrow and Friday, as we always do. But he was kind of a plug-and-play fill-in starter for them this weekend with who was out? Jack was out. Joel was out. But so he didn't practice. Let's see. Joel Batonio with his knee injury did not practice. Jack Conklin with his concussion did not practice. I don't know where on the protocol Conklin is with the concussion, how kind of far along he is with those steps. So, this may be he practices tomorrow and he's ready Friday and Saturday, Sunday, but he's probably not going to play. Kind of like we alluded to last week. If there's any question, if there's any concern about these guys sustaining longer-term injuries as a result of playing, they're probably not going to play them just because they're already so banged up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Jack. I wouldn't be surprised if we don't see Joel. Wyatt practiced, limited with the calf injury, but he did practice. So there's at least some encouraging things there that maybe he'll be playing. But like I said, Tevin Jenkins did not practice. So, it'll be interesting to see kind of what the starting lineup is. I think they announced during the game on Sunday, it was the 9th variation of a starting lineup for the offensive line. Don't be surprised if we see number 10 this weekend. I mean, looking at the depth chart, they really that'll probably happen tomorrow or Friday based on how practice goes. Right now, we still see guys like Whippler, hopefully Zinter. Oh yeah, forgot to mention that Zinter's on the injury report too with a back injury. So, but I mean, I anticipate we'll see Cam Robinson, Luke Whippler, KT Leviston. Remains to be seen if we'll see Tevin Jenkins and if Wyatt will play. But like I said, I doubt Joel and Jack will. And then, of course, there's Cornelius Lucas. And then way down at the bottom is Jeremiah Byers. So there's a ragtag group of guys there. And we see exactly what happens to the offense as a result of that. And I mean, it's nobody's fault. Injuries happen. It's just, very demoralizing and dejecting. So that's the offensive line portion of my discussion today. Looking at kind of, an extension of the offensive line at tight end and Njoku. He still did not practice with his knee injury. Similar to some of the other guys, if they're worried about this being a lingering thing or exposing him to further injury, they're just going to shut him down. So unless he practices tomorrow, I'm not going to see him playing on Sunday. Anybody else who did not practice, I need to bring up. Dylan Sampson, still not practicing with a hand injury. Winston Reed, who is his practice window is open. I think it's Winston. Is that correct? His practice window is open for coming off the IR. He did not practice yet, so I can't imagine we're going to see him suit up. And then Mike Hall did not practice, but it was with an illness, so hopefully we'll see him. And then Miles didn't practice, but it was rest related. So here's they talked about it during the game on Sunday, which I don't know if I missed it or if I just don't remember talking about it. But remember last season, there was this whole story and whole issue with him having his foot problem. When he was a kid, he had implants put in his foot because they were like oddly developed. And like when I hear implants in the foot, it's not so much where I think like a club foot, because normally we don't put in implants for that. Normally it's splinting, casting, and then a surgery to release a tendon. But I remember him kind of coming on and off saying his feet hurt, this or that, and they were kind of up in the air about if he was going to like have surgery or not for it. I mean, they said during the broadcast that he did have surgery in the offseason to remove those implants, and that's why he feels so much better. And maybe correct me if I'm wrong, I don't remember talking about that during the offseason. I don't remember hearing about that. But he said that during the broadcast. And so, as you can see, I think it's definitely had a positive impact on him. I mean, look at the sacks he's got this year. He's playing out of his mind. But it's just kind of an interesting note that he actually did have surgery to remove some implants from his foot, and clearly it's made a world of difference for him. And let's see, other guys who we looking at limited in practice. Grant Delpit, Bates at tight end. Graham was limited with his rib injury. Aiden Huntington did practice, but he was limited, so that's encouraging for the defensive line. Kamara was limited with an elbow injury. Karsten limited with his ankle. He's been limited all season, but he's obviously not limited in the games. He had 10 tackles in the first half. And then Deshaun Watson was limited, but practicing. Oh, and Denzel did not practice with his calf injury. So, I mean, I'm winded just talking about it, so I'm sorry if that was too much, but
I said there'd be a documentary. There it is.
There's all 18 of them.
That sucks. This isn't fun.
Well,
this is not fun. Nobody's having fun.
I mean, how do you win a football team when literally, I mean, of those 18, how many of them are starters, right? Like a dozen of them? Like when, a fourth of your entire team is on IR? Like that's crazy. Or, like is insane.
All right. We didn't even talk about who's on the IR.
Right. That's true. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, if you think about all the people that are,
I guess just to kind of bounce things to the other side of the field, as I like to do, looking at the Bills coming up in terms of their injury report. Much smaller, just like last week. Guys of significance, looking at some starters for them on the offensive line. Deion Dawkins did not practice, but related to illness. So typically in those situations, we see those guys play. I mean, that's something that midweek, maybe they're just not feeling good, dehydrated, maybe they got the flu or a cold or something, but they normally always end up playing. Dalton Kincaid did not practice. I don't believe he played last week. No, he did, but he did not practice today. So that's something to keep an eye on, because obviously he's a pretty big target for Josh Allen. What else? Jordan Phillips did not practice. He's kind of a role player at defensive tackle, so something to keep an eye on there. And maybe can get some rushing attack going if there's. It's one guy on the line. I don't know. And then Matt Prater did not practice with his quad injury. Otherwise, Nicole Hardman was limited, and then linebacker Bernard, cornerback Benford, both limited. But again, I mean, it is peanuts compared to what the Browns are dealing with. So that is the update on the Bills in terms of their injuries and what we have to look forward to.
Well, that was fun. I'm glad we got to roll through all 100 of our guys. Let's shift gears a little bit, and we will do our thing where we always do keys to a victory. But we're at this point, guys, where I don't know that the Browns are trying to go out there and win any games. So instead of doing keys to a victory, I'd rather just play like, what do we want to see from our team? What do we want to see from a couple of players? So really.
I gotta go get a drink for this. No,
all right, go get a drink. Have at it. So before we do that, I wanna open up the floor here for maybe some off-season, not predictions, but just kind of talking through maybe these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 discussion points of what we think could happen this offseason. Before we do that, Dustin, why don't you tell our listeners about Southern Tier Brewing?
Yeah, guys, check out Southern Tier Brewing and join us tomorrow night. The big Christmas party. That's right, 7:30. Lots of Browns alumni, and you can actually try some Here We Go Brownies Brown Ale. We'll be doing samples of that there for the Christmas party. But join us tomorrow night, 7:30, downtown Southern Tier Brewing. Going to be a lot of fun. So come check that out. Come join us. We're excited.
Please do. Also, if you're thinking, hey, what in the world? What should I have for my upcoming holiday party? Check out City Barbecue. They can cater your event. Of course, you can go into one of their store locations. You have lunch, dinner there. They have award-winning sauces, sides, meats. They do it right. They're very friendly. They can cater your event quick and easy, very affordable. So please be sure to check out our friends over at City Barbecue. And last but not least, real quick, if you need something to put on your City Barbecue, sorry, David, this cuts you right off here. Check out our over at Stadium Mustard. If you don't have Stadium Mustard in your kitchen this season, you are doing it wrong. The iconic brand, the iconic taste, love from ballparks to backyards and everywhere in between. Stadium Mustard is a smooth brown mustard rich in both taste and tradition. By the way, it's loved by millions, so be sure to head on over to stadiummustard.com to shop now.
You could create a muscle mustard. Muscle mustard. Look at that right there.
There you go. Oh, nice.
That sounds awful. High protein mustard. Ooh.
Keto mustard.
God.
It already is keto.
What's that?
Right.
Mustard is keto. Yeah, mustard is keto. You're right. There is no carbs in mustard. Good point.
Gross. So, all right, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different, not predictions, but possibilities for this upcoming offense in no particular order here, or not offense, team, off season. God, I'm sick. Deal with it. I'm trying my best. Let's start with this one. And this is really just kind of your thoughts, how likely this is. Let's rank them 1 through 5. We're going to start with Browns clean house. Basically, everybody is out. From a coaching perspective, Kevin's fired, Andrew's out, everybody's out. I think this is fairly likely. I think this is something that we absolutely could see. And I still think that there's a world where maybe they keep one and not the other. Probably in that case, it would be Kevin out, Andrew still in. And you could maybe talk me into that. You can maybe convince me into that. I think the biggest issue, of course, is with the coaching staff. I think it is incredibly likely that we will see a new coach at some point next year. Maybe not to start the season, but at some point next year. I wouldn't be that surprised by this. I think this is a pretty logical step in the right direction for righting the ship here. But guys, I could also see a world where they roll it out as is, which is the next bullet point. So right now, just focusing on them firing everybody, essentially. What do we think about this?
So I think you're right. There's so many different opportunities, but it's been long enough, and I think that there is enough push, desire, clamoring for change. There's a pretty good chance that it happens. I know you said we're going to kind of rank these. I don't know if you want us to blind rank them or how we want to do. And I think probably the sentiment is let's move on. Let's find something new. And I don't know if this is going to segue or if I should save this for the next one. But I think with the removal or the leaving, I should say, of DePodesta, I wonder if that maybe might be in some people's minds enough of a change to where they maintain some of the staff otherwise, where some of kind of the behind the scenes things are moved. So like, yeah, maybe that was enough. Let's keep going with the current staff. But I mean, to answer your question in terms of like, what is the likelihood of them just cleaning house? I think it's more than 50% chance that it's going to happen.
Yeah. Real quick, we don't have to blind rank these. I'll actually just go ahead and read off in like how I have them written down, and then we'll talk about each one. So the first one's fire everybody. Second one is roll out as is with this current regime. Third is drafting a quarterback with one of your first round picks, or just drafting a quarterback. Fourth one is trade for a quarterback, and then the last one is roll with Shador as the starter. So those are my hypotheticals here. So Dustin, what do you think in terms of firing everybody? Like, where do we fall on this in the likelihood scale?
For me, I don't think they're going to clean house with Andrew Berry. I do think this is a 50-50 split where you have the coaching staff let go. Also, I wouldn't be surprised when we've seen there's been precedents in the National Football League of this. I do think if Stefanski would to be fired, he would probably have a coaching job probably pretty soon. So I wouldn't be shocked if Andrew Berry and the Browns kind of have a conversation with Stefanski saying, it's just not working out here anymore, but you're a good coach. And they trade him to a team where, because they do have the assets of Stefanski, where he gets traded to I could see that. I could see that. I mean, it's happened.
I'm sorry. I don't mean to sound like insane. Like I'm totally just dogging you here, but in what world is any team going to trade assets for Kevin Stefanski, who
I'm not saying the first round.
Oh, any asset. I don't know that he's going to get a head coaching job. I think
I think he gets a head coaching job probably.
Why would anybody trade for him when he's probably has the best odds to be one of the first coaches fired this offseason?
Because I just think with anywhere, like he wears out his welcome. I'm saying I think he'll be another good coach.
Why trade for him? Why would you trade an asset for Kevin Stefanski?
Because the Browns could play possum and say, well, we may roll out with them next year. I'm saying if the Browns get calls where like, what are you doing with Stefanski? Are you firing him or whatever? I'll take a second or third round pick for him. Give it to him.
Nobody's trading a second round pick for Stefanski.
Absolutely. Sign me up. Let's go.
I'm just
Carson for Stefanski. Come on.
I'm saying I've seen crazier things in the NFL.
That would be something,
That is.
So yeah,
that
to
is
answer your question,
prediction right there.
I mean, to answer your question though, I do think they would clean house and maybe bring and retain some of the coaching staff, Schwartz, with a new coach or something like that. But no, I don't think Andrew Berry's gone. That's just my.
I agree with that. I think I must be hallucinating because that was insane. But in terms of this one in comparison, yeah, here we go. What's in that cup, Dustin?
I'm telling you, you would crazier things happen in the NFL every single day.
I mean, no, okay, all right. I cannot spend any more time on that one. That might go down as really. Let's rank this 1 through 5 here. 1 through 5, where this one kind of sticks, and that's the cleaning house. I think this one's fairly high. I think it's above 3. I'm willing to put this one at a 1 or a 2, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know. What do you guys think?
You're talking about You're talking Barry and everybody gone.
Just rejuvenating the team, bringing in a new coach, bringing somebody. I don't know.
If we're just talking the coaching staff, I think it's a 5. I mean a 1. A 1.
Right.
Yeah, a 1 in that sense. But if it's like everybody, I think I'd put it at 3 because I think Andrew Berry's definitely coming back.
All right. Well, let's play that game. Roll out as is, David.
So rolling out as is. So I'm going to put that one at 2, where they fire everybody. I think that's like the second most likely thing that's going to happen this offseason. I want to say roll it with everybody is like 4. It just feels like this is more of we got to make changes. I mean, I don't know what else you can expect to get out of everybody, and I think there would be a lot of rage if everything stayed the same going into next season. And while fans don't make those decisions necessarily, owners feel pressure, managers feel pressure. So I would say that this is less likely to happen than cleaning out house.
Yeah, I agree. I'm willing. I agree with putting this at 4 because I think there's probably another thing on here that would be 5. I don't think they roll out as is next year, and maybe they keep a couple of things in place. Dustin, to your point, maybe they keep Andrew Barry, but they make some changes. Whether that's Kevin Stefanski or offensive coordinator, defense, there's going to be some changes. So I think this, putting this towards the bottom is fair. I like it at 4. Dustin, what do you think?
I think 4 because of some of the other stuff you have on the list as well.
Yeah.
4.
Okay. Cool. Let's do this one next. Draft a quarterback. I think this one, right? I know this is we could do a whole show on this. So let's try to keep this fairly quick because we don't have a ton of time left. But in terms of drafting a quarterback, I'm kind of the belief that if they are in a position to take one of the two, they probably will. And if they're not, if they win a couple of games here towards the end of the season and they're, picking 8, 9, 10, and that player's not there, then they don't. It totally just depends on what happens the rest of this season. But if they hold the number 1 overall pick, I think if they don't trade it away, it's possible that they take a quarterback. So I think this is fairly likely. I don't know how I feel about putting it at – actually, I feel decent about putting this pretty close to the top. David, what do you think?
I think this is the number 1 most likely thing to happen this offseason. I'm going to put this one at number 1. I think, like you said, if they have the number 1 overall pick, even the number 2 overall pick, they're taking a quarterback. There are 2 very good candidates, I think, 2 good prospects, I should say, not candidates. But they've proven to us that they'll take a quarterback in any round and even twice in 1 year. And so if they don't get their guy in the first round, look out, 5th rounder again. I just think they're desperate. They're desperate to hit. They're desperate to find a quarterback. So if they can get some of their offensive line, wide receiver needs addressed early on in the draft, I wouldn't be surprised if they took one in the 4th or the 5th. So whether it's early on or towards the end, I think there's a very, very high likelihood that they're going to take a quarterback in this draft.
I agree. I'm comfortable putting this at my 1 as well. I think they will. And that doesn't necessarily mean that Shedeur won't be on this team next season. I think it's a competition. Totally. And if they are in a position to take one of the 2, I think that they do. And when I say one of the 2, I'm saying Fernando Mendoza and probably Dante Moore at this point. We'll see how a couple of games go here, but I think that they will. And if they're in that position, they're taking that selection. Dustin, what do you think in terms of likelihood for this off season? Where do you fall with this one? And of course, just a reminder, this isn't what you would do, but just in terms of likelihood of this thing.
I'm going to push back a little bit. I don't think they're going to take a quarterback next year. And the reason I feel like they're not going to take a quarterback is I don't think, A, they'll be at number 1. And 2, I don't think they'll be in a position because obviously the Raiders and the Saints, the Raiders and the Jets definitely need a quarterback, but there are teams there that I think can be very aggressive and go after this. And I just don't think it's it came in as looking at as a deep quarterback class, and it's not looking like that anymore. And listening to some of the stuff that Mary Kay, love or hate her, she's really spot on about stuff. She definitely thinks that Shedeur is going to get a shot to come back next year, and Deshaun Watson's going to have a shot. She went out on a limb today and talked about that at great length. So I think the Browns are going to just go out and get wide receivers, offensive linemen, and people to protect this team and build around the future. And if it isn't there in 2026, they're all in 2027. So I don't think they're going to take a quarterback in this next draft. At least in the first round, I don't think they're going to. So right. I put that at a 2 or 3 is where I put that, probably.
All right, next up, trade for a quarterback. I think this is – and what I mean by this is to start, right? They're trading 1 or 2 of their first-round picks to go get what they consider a superstar or an elite talent to come in and be the day 1 starter. Personally, I don't think this is going to happen. I'm comfortable putting this one at my 5. I don't think that they will. I'm sure that they could trade for maybe a backup or maybe, sign a quarterback, as a backup, but to trade assets to go get, I'm just going to throw a couple of names out there, like a CJ Stroud or somebody like that. I don't think that they're going to do that. So I'm going to put this one at my 5. David, what do you think?
So I was going to put it at 3 if this was just trade for a quarterback in general, kind of like where they went and got Kenny Pickett last year. But if we're talking more to go trade for a starter, I agree. I don't think that's going to happen. So I'm going to shift things around. I'm going to bump this down to 5 as well. I don't see a world where they use, like you said, assets to go get a starter somewhere else. They're either going to stay in-house or get in the draft.
Mm-hmm. Okay, Dustin.
Yeah, I'm fine with 5 as well. And clearly, on top of that, they don't have the money to go make a deal to go sign a kind of a superstar quarterback like that or a legit starter in the NFL.
Yeah, of course.
Not twice.
So that leaves this last one with rolling with Shador Sanders as the starting quarterback, or to compete with Deshaun Watson or whatever that roster looks like. In this example, maybe they take an offensive lineman and a receiver, which certainly you can talk me into that. So this one just kind of falls at 3, and I think that's probably where I feel comfortable putting this one. And I think this one really hinges on what happens with the coaching staff in the front office. If they decide to fire everybody, I can see a world where a new coach or GM comes in and says, "No, I want to make a quarterback selection." Or if they roll out with Andrew Berry and Kevin Stefanski, well, then we very well could see this. So I'm fine with putting this one at 3. I think that's kind of right where it sits. David, what do you think on this?
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they've at least shown, and Shador has shown enough to give him an opportunity to compete, and not go out and trade for someone else. And I still think it's more likely they're going to draft a quarterback at some point, but I think this is kind of the next tier behind that in terms of what happens at quarterback.
Yeah, Dustin.
I'm going to put this more like 1. I think they're going to roll out and give Shador a shot and just kind of see what they have under center. I think this is going to be and try to put a lot of talent around it, because I think what the Browns are seeing is no matter who you put in there at quarterback, if you don't have any kind of talent around them, their skills are diminished. So I think, and again, you're also sitting on $60 million of Deshaun Watson money. So again, you can't do a lot with that until 2027. So I do think they're going to roll out with what they have and see what they got.
Yeah. All right. Rapid fire here. Let's go around the room, and we're not doing keys to a victory. Just a couple of things that you would like to see in this game against the Buffalo Bills, and we'll go fairly quickly. David, kick it off.
I would like to see just the defense that we saw earlier this season kind of reemerge. They're not down that many starters, and I think that at least making a statement towards the end of the year saying hey, our defense is still legit. Our defense is still top 5 in the nation, in the league, I should say. So I'd like to see keeping Josh Allen under 200 yards passing and really limiting James Cook to no more than 85 yards rushing. I know we're not doing specific keys to victory, but just kind of re-emerge and re-emphasize the fact that Jim Schwartz and this defense, they know what they're doing, and they're going to be back next year.
Yeah. Dustin, what do you think?
Keys to victory. I think obviously I need to see the Browns stop the run specifically on defense. They've been getting gashed on the run. And can we just make this game watchable on Sunday? I mean, I know that's not a key to a victory, but can we just make it watchable and an enjoyable football game? And that means probably, playing special teams for 4 quarters instead of 5 minutes of a football game. So that would be great. So I would enjoy that. And, the only reason I'm going to the game this week, full disclosure, is I'm ready to see Myles Garrett tie or break the all-time sack record in the National Football League. So there's a reason to go watch the game. They'll probably stop it. They'll do some kind of announcement. But, yeah, just make it watchable. I mean, at this point, that's sad to say, but can you make the game just watchable?
All right. So for mine, I agree. I put Myles on here. That's one of the big things. I'd love to see that on Sunday. And then our good friend George, he actually took one of mine as well, and that is just score some points. I'd like to see some numbers on the scoreboard at the end of the game. But specifically from what I want to see from Shador Sanders, I want to see him get the ball out a little bit quicker. I understand a lot of that has to do with the offensive line, but just quicker processing, quicker decision making, just getting the ball out, or even throwing it away. I'm fine with that. So that's what I'd like to see. All right, David, thank you for joining us. That was a medical documentary brought to you by Lorella.
Thank you for having me.
Go Browns, David.
Go Browns.
Go Browns.
All right. Quickly here, we want to tell you about our friends over at Weebleed, Ohio. If you're thinking for some continued holiday gifts, you can head on over to Weebleed, Ohio. They can do custom basketball, baseball, football designs. Of course, you can get your official Here We Go Brownies podcast hat, t-shirts, hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, all of those things over at Weebleed, Ohio Apparel. And Dustin,
and I was going to say they have a limited shirt that they just dropped, which is super cool. Dropping threes on New Year's Eve. So a cool shirt that's got a limited run. So go check those shirts out. They're kind of fastly going. But yeah, dropping threes on New Year's Eve. It didn't even rhyme. So it's fun. Fun shirt.
Okay. And before we get into our game picks, Dustin, why don't you tell our listeners about Lady Caroline?
Guys, if you haven't checked out Lady Caroline, check them out. Book a trip. By the way, they have their New Year's Eve trip. Get down there, check it out, do something different. And then, by the way, if it's cold outside and you're looking for some great things to do other than going on the ship for New Year's Eve, check out our friends at the Greater Cleveland Aquarium. Check out the Shark Tank, all the different species and all the different exhibits there, including that you can feed the stingrays. It's a great opportunity. By the way, they were going to be giving away some great prizes tomorrow night, including a year pass, and we're giving away a lunch cruise. So that'll be a couple things that'll be there tomorrow night as part of the party.
There you go. There you have it. All right, let's get into some game picks, Dustin. You'll be pleased to hear you got me again. So you're creeping up. So,
Hey, 2 in a row. Don't call it a comeback. Here we go.
yeah,
So
you're
is it 4-7-1 or
no, you are 3-7-2.
3-7-2? Okay, so all right. Hey, I'm kind of like the Browns. All right, let's go.
Yeah, no, you are. Okay, let's kick it off with some Thursday night football. The Rams at the Seahawks. This is going to be a fun one. Hopefully.
So here's the crazy thing. The Rams are really good, probably the best team in football. Seahawks, it's a tough place to play. The Seahawks, I kind of feel like they're back. Give me the Seahawks in a squeaker with the 12th man.
Yeah, I actually agree with you. That's a tough place to play in prime time. And I think the Rams, I agree with you. They're the best team in football currently, but they're a little bit due for another loss as we approach the playoff. So I'm going to go with the Seahawks here. Eagles at Commanders.
Eagles.
Yeah, Packers at Bears. Oh, that's gonna be a fun one. Saturday night.
Packers at Bears. Ooh. Bears are good. I mean, after watching the Bears now, because I had to watch the Bears, give me the Packers, because I think the Bears have the division lead right now, right? I believe they do.
Yeah.
Game. So I feel like for the Packers, this game means a lot, and I do think the Packers are the better team. So give me the Packers here.
Yep, I'm with you. And similarly, I think the Bears probably due here to lose. And then Chargers at Cowboys.
Chargers, they're good.
Interesting. I think I'm going to take the Cowboys in this one.
Aren't the Cowboys basically out of it? Kind of. No, they're on the fringe of not being only the playoffs.
I've got sick brain right now. I don't know off the top of my head. I don't know. Vikings at Giants.
How many wins do the Giants have? No. Give me the Giants. Give me the Giants at home. I feel like they can pull it off.
Okay. I mean, if the Giants win, that certainly helps the Browns. So I think I agree with you. I think the Vikings just won. I'm going to take the Giants here. I think they're due or something. I don't know. Bengals at Dolphins.
Dolphins. Dolphins lost a tough game. Still fighting for a playoff spot. Bengals are eliminated.
The Dolphins are out.
Oh, the Dolphins are out now. That was it.
Yeah, that was it. Tua got benched. They're done.
So you know what? And I can't figure out. Joe Burrow doesn't seem like a very happy quarterback right now. There's a lot of things going on with Joe Burrow, but give me the Bengals. Actually, I still think they're the better team right now.
Yeah. Bucks at Panthers.
Bucks. They got to win. Bucks got to win.
They got to win. Jets at Saints.
So, by the way, Saints, one of the games I picked last week because I felt like they were kind of starting to figure it out. Saints. Mm-hmm. Although I would love the Jets to win for obvious reasons for the Browns, but give me the Saints.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Saints here as well. Bills at Browns.
Bills.
Yeah, agreed. Chiefs at Titans.
Chiefs eliminated. Shocker, right? Who would have saw that coming? Wow. You know what? I think the Chiefs are lost and they're a shell of themselves. No quarterback. Give me the Titans at home. Why not?
Look, we need to be rooting for the Titans. Essentially, that would be very.
I mean, seriously, what are the Chiefs playing for? And their star quarterback's gone.
Really. There. I agree, and it's in Nashville.
Okay.
I'm with you on this one. Jags at Broncos.
Broncos.
Yeah, I think so too. Falcons at Cardinals.
Ugh, both garbage games. Cardinals?
I think.
It's
Yeah,
an
I
ugly
think
game.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna say Cardinals because it's in Arizona. Raiders at Texans.
Texans.
Texans. Steelers at Lions.
I feel like the Lions have got to get their act together. Give me the
Yes, they
Lions.
do. I'm gonna go with the Lions here as well. It's in Detroit. They need a win desperately.
Yes.
They're in the hunt. I agree. Patriots at Ravens.
Whew. So, Patriots at Ravens. Ravens need to win. Patriots lost. That was a crazy game, by the way. Give me the Ravens actually at home. That's a tough out with Derrick Henry running the ball. Give me the Ravens actually in this one.
All right, I'm going to take the Patriots here, just because they lost to the Bills. They need a win. I'm gonna go with the Patriots, but I mean I agree. It's a tough place to play in Baltimore.
Well, and the Ravens are kind of in a must-win position too.
They
to
are.
get the
They are. 49ers at Colts.
44-year-old quarterback. Here he comes. Give me. You know what? So we only have one game so far, right? That we have.
Two.
Oh, we have two.
Yeah.
49ers are banged up. I mean, they're kind of a weird team. Colts at home in the Dome. Give me the Colts in the Dome, actually. Give me the Colts in the Dome.
All right, I'm going to take the Niners. So we've got a couple of differences. I'm taking the Cowboys. You're taking the Chargers. I'm taking the Patriots. You're taking the Ravens. And I am taking the 49ers. And you are taking the Colts. So there you have it.
So three.
That's three. All right. Any closing thoughts here as we wrap up? I think I'm out of it. A lot of steam, guys.
I think Allie is on fumes at this point. She made it. Guys, just stay safe, stay healthy. More importantly, as Allie would say, enjoy the game this weekend. Let's root for Myles Garrett to get those 2 sacks at home in front of the crowd, or wait till next week against Pittsburgh. I mean, either one. Get it done at home in front of the home crowd, and look forward to that, and look forward to everybody coming to the Christmas party tomorrow night, 7:30. It's gonna be fun.
That'll be good. All right. Well, thank you everybody for tuning in. Stay safe, stay healthy, and as always, Browns fans, go Browns.
Go Browns.
SOS, I could use a hero right about now. My faith in love is upside down. H-E-R-O, where will we all go? SOS, I could use a hero right about now.
Mr. Hero's turning 60. We're proud to have served your favorite cravings for 60 years in celebrating what we do